She was very encouraging, very inspiring, and she actually motivated me. I appreciate the fact that she was so authentic and very personable, and it really made me feel like I relate to her story. What I aspire to be? Just the best version of myself.
You are listening to Unleash the Podcast, revolutionizing the way women grow, work, live, and lead. Engaging interviews, insightful book reviews, and timeless gems to aid the modern woman in excelling personally and professionally. Hosted by the multi-passionate Tabitha D. James, Unleash the Podcast not only empowers listeners, but also equips them with applicable action-based resources for daily life. Hey friends, and welcome to another Unleash replay. I am still pulling folks from that same area of South Carolina, so it's super duper crazy, but I think this is the last one. Nonetheless, Carrie of Wicked Liquid Enterprises is one of my Chanticleer colleagues, one of my Black alumni chapter leaders, and one of my Unleash coaching clients. So I am super duper excited for you all to get into this interview. Okay, get into this interview. Enjoy the back end that she kind of shares about how her business came to kind of fruition, how it's so deeply rooted in family, and all the amazing greatness that she has for you all. I can't even get my words. All right, y'all, enjoy the episode. Lunchtime Chat, which is a business spotlight. I got my girl Carrie. We're talking about Wicked Liquid. Whether you drink, don't drink, think about drinking, whatever, it really doesn't matter because you're going to be able to get something from this. Because first of all, you got the two of us, and so it's going to be funny. That's number one. Yeah. You're going to get some entertainment. If you get nothing else, you're going to get entertainment. Yes. You're going to get inspiration and something that really, 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 really inspires me. I don't want to give away too much, but something that really inspires me about Carrie and Wicked Liquid is the family focus and the family dynamics and how all of this is just rooted in familyness. I think as people of color, as Southern people of color, that is something that we need to think more about is how are we preserving our heritage and how are we interweaving our heritage into the things that we decide to do as we continue to level up generations and change narratives and all that. How do we preserve some of those great things that have been set forth for us by our ancestors? So that's something that just continues to inspire me about this business and this brand. Thank you. Super duper excited. I'm not gonna get started. I'm gonna let Carrie introduce herself, tell us a little bit about herself, her background, how we got here, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead. And as you see, right, fellow Sean, she got the shirt on. It's Till Tuesday. If you do not know, right, we went to Coastal and we love Coastal. So we go hard. Till Tuesday is a big deal. Okay, so Carrie, give us all the deets. Let us know about you, all the things.
All right, so as Tab said, I am a graduate of Coastal Carolina. That's kind of where we met. I wasn't actually supposed to meet Tab. That's the funny part, because I was gone when she came in. So I wasn't actually supposed to meet her, but, you know, by design, by the man above, we are thankful. But I'm a graduate of Coastal Carolina University, originally from a small town called St. Stephen, Alvin, South Carolina. So we have about maybe 2,000 people in our whole entire area. Okay. And everybody knows everybody. If you're not related to them, you know their family. Like you can say a last name and say, hey, I know somebody from St. Stephen. Who you know? That's the first question. Who you know? What part? All right. Let me see who they. Let me call my mama and see if my mama knows such and such. Like that's literally how big our town is. But I grew up there. Like Tabitha said, Southern roots and family has been my biggest thing. Going off to Coastal was a dream come true. I had a cousin who went to Coastal prior to me. And then after I came in, like a lot of my little cousins came in. So we are thankful. What else? Wicked Liquid was literally, when she says a family business, it's literally a family business. My younger sister is a bartender with me. My mom comes and helps bartend sometimes. She takes care of, you know, bookings and making sure that we are certain places. She handles the community service aspect of Wicked Liquid. My grandmother, it will be 93 in December. She is the main focus behind it. She was the one who taught me a lot about mixing and making certain things. As Southerners, you know, we like our wine. My grandma was a proponent in showing us how to carry on the tradition, which started one of my CERT business, the CERT component of my business, I'm sorry. But my grandma's 93. She helps. When I say helps, she literally, if I have to do anything in Charleston, she is helping me prepare as far as making syrups, juicing lemons, making sure that things are together, helping me with recipes. It's not a time I can't call my grandmother and say, hey, grandma, I need help with such and such. What can I put with this? Or what flavors go with this? My grandmother, Dorothy, which is my mom's mother, she is suffering from the dementia. So at this point, she doesn't remember a lot, but she is also a focal point because she actually taught me how to cook. So it's a part of bringing the 3 generations together. And if anybody knows my family, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So growing up where I thought I was the odd one out because I've always wanted to start certain things or do certain experiments, unbeknownst to me, it was a family generational trend. When I found out that my great grandmother was an entrepreneur. She owned a nightclub in our hometown. She was known as a head busser. And it's so funny because talking to the older generation, my great grandmother was nobody to play with. So it's funny to hear those things, but going on to my great grandmother and learning her and getting the honor to meet her, understanding where she came from and growing up in the area that she started. I was fortunate enough to actually be able to walk into my great grandmother's house, sit on her couch, talk to her, go to doctor's appointments with her. So I have that backing. My mother was a proponent of family, so she instilled that into us. She also instilled community service into us. So that was what my company, when I decided to go with Wicked Lakewood, was founded upon: family and community service.
Wow. Into this, y'all. Get into this. Like, that is just, I mean, that's dope. Unfortunately, I didn't get, my parents, they had me late. And so I didn't get to meet a lot of the like great pillars of my family. But too, this is something that I didn't even know Carrie and I had in common. Like, this is so great. Is that the rooting of like, I'm probably living out somebody else's life at this point, right? Like, my grandma, for what it's worth, was an entrepreneur, whether it was labeled that or not. Like, sis was slinging, okay? Like, through the house, whatever, making it do what it do. So was my great grandfather. And that's, why I have some of the things that I have today to kind of build upon, is because of their hard work and their legacy. So I tell people a lot of times that, like, shoot, I might be living someone else's dream, like, for real, ancestors' wildest dream. And that's a part of like the grind too. Like, I love to see, women, especially Black women, winning, right? But I'm also like, ancestors, y'all did it, right? And I owe it to y'all.
I'm so thankful for them. Because I promise you, if it wasn't for my great grandmother, I would not have been able to attend Coastal Carolina University. So for that alone, I'm thankful.
Grateful. Like, we didn't even have the internet, and they was doing it, right?
Hello.
Like, so, okay, I'm not even gonna go off on a tangent, y'all. Just as you grinding out there, respect the ancestors, right? When you want to make an excuse, remember that they didn't have Google, okay? Remember that they was on like a horseback or something, like,
okay.
Right? Like, okay, like, let's remember our roots. Okay, so you talked to us about how things got started and how you were able to get recipes and things from family, and you've been able to build this thing. So now let's talk about a big old elephant in the room, which is this COVID-19. You are a service business that does a lot of events, weddings, bar mitzvahs, if you will, birthday parties, whatever, book launches, you do events, right? So how has COVID impacted your business? Let's talk about it.
My God. So I have officially deemed COVID-19 the devil, because it has literally put a wall in the service industry. And that's because it has put a halt on interpersonal connections, and being that I am a service event in a service and event. My God, come on, give me the words.
Come on, words.
Service and event entity. It's hard to convince people to say, "Hey, you're not gonna get sick." So a lot of my events were pushed back for later in the year. So my last event, my first event coming back was June 13th. And my last event for COVID was January 25th. So it was a hiatus. Yeah, it was a hiatus of about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, where I literally was sitting on my hands like, Lord, please give me something to do. And it's crazy because in the interim, I tell you, I'm a CERT-based business. So that's literally how I got my start. And it was my younger sister was like, Carrie, make some elderberry syrup. And I was like, what? I can do that. That's what's up. So in the interim of COVID, my bestseller has been elderberry syrup. Like, it literally transformed back to my original thought. Like, I wanted to create these syrups to put in restaurants and bars and all of these things, to have a product to say, hey, this is what Wicked Liquid offers. Yes, we do events, and events kind of took off first. So it was like, all right, ride this train of events and weddings and stuff like that until you get where you want to be. Well, COVID-19 was like, pause, we're going to halt those events. Now what you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And as an entrepreneur, anybody can tell you, when things happen, it's not always a good thing. Because you have to play the unexpected role and be 10 steps ahead, but you like 6 steps back and you don't know where to go. So it's literally, it was a thought like, oh, you should make elderberry syrup. And I started making elderberry syrup, put up a post that says, oh, I'm making elderberry syrup. Who wants some? And I literally got 16 orders from that one post. And I literally had to go buy mason jars. Like, okay, I got to go buy mason jars. And I got to go do, all right, I got this size, this size, this size. And I started sending out invoices. And I ended up shipping to Michigan and Florida and Charleston, and doing drop-offs right here in Columbia. Then I was like, oh, okay, now what I'm going to do? Like, I literally just got an order this morning. Like, are you going to be in town on Friday? Yes. I'm going to be in town on Friday. All right, they're coming from Greenville to pick up. So it was like, okay, cool. What am I going to make sure that goes next? Like, what is going next? And I'm like, oh God, I don't have nothing to go next. So it was just like, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Like, that's literally how COVID has been for me. It's literally what I'm gonna do next. I don't know.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Dope. Okay, y'all, let's drop these nuggets. Okay. So what she really said was, don't be afraid to pivot. Okay. Like,
no, you don't be
afraid to pivot or to post. But
I'm the epitome of fear in both of those. That's the crazy part. So like, I am not the extravagant, over the top entrepreneur. So I'm not the one that be like, oh, let me post this, and oh, this is a good picture. I'm not that person. I am so not that person. So it's literally been, all right, what should I do? Somebody tell me what to do. And then it's like, no, we can't tell you what to do because this is your business. So the one thing I've learned in COVID is, you cannot be afraid, and there won't always be somebody there to tell you what to do next.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to be out here bodybuilding, do stuff.
Hold on.
Wow. It's like,
so yeah.
Wow, like y'all get out your comfort zone. That's really like,
yes.
COVID has drugged you out of a comfort zone, because honestly, I mean, there would still be crickets had you not posted about the syrup, right?
Right. Literally, I would have been sitting on my hands still, because I'm not that person. Like, I didn't even think making that post would have gotten the response it got. because in my head, people don't pay attention to me. So as an entrepreneur, when you feel like people don't pay attention to you, nobody's going to see that post. It's just going to fly by. So yeah, it was just like, all right, fly by. And they got like 16 orders. Like I literally had people from Orangeburg who I've never seen, talked to, heard from, didn't even know they followed me, was like, oh, can I get an order? Who are you?
Yelling in his background. Yeah, what you doing?
And that is when you know you're doing the work, right? When you start getting those stranger danger orders, when you start getting noticed by strangers, right? You're going to another level.
Right.
So never put yourself out there, friends. You can't do it. Oh, Chantel said one of my favorite things. You have to get out of your own head.
Ooh.
Get out of it.
That is my favorite place to be. That, like, I am a very imaginative and creative person, so my head is where I'm at all the time. It's seldom that I come out and tell other people that's what's in my head. So yeah.
You gotta get out your head. I mean, honestly, I can hit end right now because that's the magic, y'all. That's the magic. So,
Right.
okay, Sir popped off. Then we have transitions, a little bit. I see you doing some virtual mixing.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I want to know about these personal experiences and how people can get that. What is that? How does that work?
All right.
Give us the magic.
Another idea of COVID I was in my head, was before COVID happened, I would do live bartender training, cocktail classes and different things just to teach people, how to do things at home. It's cool. But what I didn't realize is during COVID, we are technically still at home. So it was like, well, how can I get this to people?
Yeah, I mean,
again, asking everybody else, like, how can I get this to people? How would I do this? And how would I do that? And it was a friend of mine who is an entrepreneur. She's a painter. She was like, ooh, let's do a paint and sip. And I was like, She was like, well, I'm doing paint kits. She was like, I just literally do mini canvases, draw on them, and then people buy the kits. I send it to them, and then they do whatever they need to do. She was like, sometimes I get on, Zoom or live and go through it with them. But it was like, okay, cool. So I was like, okay, how can I make that work for me?
Uniform and keys.
So I decided, I was like, oh, let's try it out. I think I did one for Mother's Day. Mother's Day was my first one. No, Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo was my first one. So I was like, okay, how can I do this? Oh, let's do margaritas. Everybody loves a good margarita for Cinco de Mayo. And I decided, I was like, oh, I'm gonna allow people to choose. So me and her, we bounced things back and forth. And she was like, well, I can do a pig kit to go along with that, and let's see how that works. So you would go to her and buy the kit. You would come to my website and you would buy your drink, your margarita kit. Inside that kit was the ingredients and the recipe. So I did 2 recipes, and it was a wild berry margarita and a spicy mango margarita. You had those choices of flavors. Inside that, you got the recipe, you got the ingredients, and then you had the choice whether you wanted to try it on your own or get on the Zoom with me, and we go through it. I had 1 kit go to Virginia. We had about 7 kits purchased, so it was a good turnout. And I was like, oh, we could do one for Mother's Day. So I decided to do a mimosa bar for Mother's Day. And then with mimosas, I was like, okay, cool. We can do. Wait, y'all can hear that background noise? It's loud.
Yeah, I just sent Jaleesa a message. I'm like, you're loud in the background.
Anybody tell me what y'all been doing?
So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, all right, well, let's try the mimosa one. So I was like, all right, cool. We did a mimosa. They had to go to the website, purchase the mimosa, whatever. And then I was like, okay, cool. Now, that one wasn't a good turnout. So I kind of got discouraged. Okay. And that's one thing about entrepreneurship. Right. Like when one thing don't work out, we kind of scale back because we like, okay, well, that one didn't work. I ain't gonna do that no more. And I'm that person. I'm be like, I ain't gonna do that no more. I'm all right with that one.
Don't do it.
And then I was like, dang, I got a message from a client, a former client was like, wait, you ain't doing that for Father's Day? And I'm like, dang it. Now I have to do something for Father's Day because they don't ask. So I did another one. And I created one for Father's Day. And what it was just basically the experience. So we kind of sent it out and tried to promote as much as possible. But it was cool. It's been a learning experience with COVID because I'm a people's person. Personally, I'm an extrovert. So I'm always, talking to people, around people, get my energy from people. So with COVID, not being around people has been a really uncomfortable situation for me. So it's like, I don't know what to do because I got to be around people.
Same. I feel that. But figuring it out though, y'all get into this, try things. If they don't work, but you like them and you feel like they can work, try them again, right? Get it done, figure it out, get in the trenches, right? And it's so honestly, if the turnout isn't what you want to be, you still perform to your highest, right? You still show up, show out, do your best, because you don't know who's going to be watching later. You don't know who's looking for you. You don't know who doesn't have an idea in their house. And so now they want to do your
right.
thing because they didn't know, right? So
right.
Let's get in the Tiny Tab time machine, right? And we're going to go back 6 months. What advice would you give yourself 6 months ago if you could?
6 months ago will be what? February? Oh,
that
God.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. 6 months ago. What? Ooh, stock up. Okay. So and I tell you, stock up on pictures, stock up on marketing, stock up, because there are a lot of things now that I can't do. So one of the things in Colombia, we have the mandated mask requirement when we are out in public in business, unless you're eating or drinking. So normally I would be at a bar talking to the bartender, snapping pictures of them making drinks or me drinking or the cocktail that they came up with. Now it's not so, I can't do it as much. So 6 months ago, I could have said, hey, listen, stock up on the pictures, go to halls, talk to Davey, talk to, the different bartenders, the different restaurant owners, get that report in because you may need them 6 months from now, 2 months from now. Try to book as many weddings as you can because we don't know what's going to happen. So whereas in 2020, my goal was to, it was quality over quantity for me because I wanted to 2017, 2018, 2019, I was always on the go. I would literally book events after events. There were some weekends I had events on Friday, events on Saturday, and my event could have been in Charlotte on Friday and Charleston on Saturday, and I got to stop in Columbia, re-up, and go to the next one because I was so booked and busy, right? Because I thought in my mind that was productivity. That is not always the case. Ooh. And that's one thing I have learned. Production doesn't always mean perfection.
Say it again.
Production doesn't always mean perfection. And that is one thing I have learned about myself in all of this, not only in COVID, but being an entrepreneur. Because to me, productivity was meaning you was always doing something. It was always something popping off. You was always in the mix of it. Well, that's not always the case because there were some weekends, my friends, my family had to show up at my house hey, bro, you got an event, get dressed. And I'm I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it today.
Burnout is real.
I don't want to do it today. And they're bro, you literally have a business. You got to get up. I will never forget one weekend I had, when I say 2 weddings back to back, one in Camden, one in Sumter, literally 2 hours apart. I would literally have to go from one wedding, the next reception had already started. So I had a crew there until I got there. And I didn't even want to get up to go to the first wedding. My best friend came to my house and was hey, bro, you got to get in the shower. It's 1:00. The wedding started at 2. You got to come on. And I'm bro, I don't feel like it. I'm still on the couch. I don't want to go nowhere. And she's nah, you got to get up. I'm going to sit here until you get it together, but you got to get up and get it moving. And I'm but I'm tired. Because the weekend before, I had an event for 500 people in Charlotte on a Friday night. had to drive all the way to Charleston for the weekend on a Saturday to do community service for Wicked Liquid. So it was just like, man, golly, I'm tired. But I had already scheduled these 2 weddings 6 months ago. So it was like, okay, I am an avid component of mental health. Like, you got to make sure your mind's straight. And I have for years been overlooking that component because it was always be productive, because to me, productivity meant being busy. So with that, 2020 was the year I said, all right, it's quality. So I don't care if I got 1 wedding a month. It's gonna be a shebang. Like, people gonna always talk about it. And then COVID happened. It was like, nope, you ain't gonna have nothing. I'm like, oh, now what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do now? Like, ugh. And it was like, now you got to be creative. This is what you wanted to do. You wanted to be creative. You wanted to showcase yourself. Now here it is. And it's like, but I don't know who I am. So it was like, now you got to take a step back. So the first 2 months of COVID, I was literally like, okay, now what is my business? Where do I've marketed my business as this service industry business that does weddings and events. Now you don't have that. Now what are you?
Right. Ooh, what are you?
So having a definite and finite answer of who and what your business is would help in a situation like this, because to me, I was just like, oh, I'm Carrie. I do drinks. I'm a bartender. That's what I do. But it wasn't until COVID that I realized, no, you a whole concierge service. Like, if anybody know what a concierge is, it's the person at the hotel that can tell you everything about the area. It can tell you everything about the restaurants and the experience. They give you the experience. You a whole beverage concierge, because I can do anything from non-alcoholic to alcoholic, from weddings to book signings. Like, you a whole concierge service. It's like, oh yeah, I am. Because I can tell you anything about bourbon and whiskey to setting up your grandmama's 63rd birthday party and turn up with her.
Drops the mic, because whoever who's tuning in from wherever and doing whatever, you better make yourself the expert, right? Because COVID may have impacted your business or your vision or your dream or whatever in different ways, right? Several different ways. It could have impacted what you do and how you do it. But there is no pandemic that can impact purpose if you know it, right?
I agree.
If you know purpose and you know why, that can't be changed in spite of anything. I posted on Instagram today, like, yes, the pandemic is a level of uncertainty, right? But the life is always uncertain. It's never certain. Nothing is ever certain, right? So get comfortable with that and just do your doggone thing, honestly, and be the expert in whatever it is that you do. If you sell t-shirts, you better be the t-shirt connoisseur, right? Like the expert, concierge. There we go. That's our word. If I do events, plan events, book events, help people with businesses, right? And I was doing that like in person. So COVID comes and I too was like, oh, hey, wait, COVID, not today.
Wait. It was so I'm a teacher, right? So when I didn't take it serious at first, because I was like, no, we gotta go back to school. Like, we're good. As long as I'm in school, we good. I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a business owner. So it was like, okay, I gotta keep rolling. Like, I gotta keep doing this. And then my principal came in the classroom and was like, well, we'll be back on Monday, but the kids won't be back. And I'm like, oh, okay. So my students texting like, oh, what is break called? Bro, it's y'all coming back to school next week. Like, don't even get too excited. And then a week turned into a month. And it's like, we got to go back. Okay, yeah, 30 days. We going back in April. And it was like, no, we going back to the beginning of May. But they got to cancel testing because guess what? We've been out of school for a month. And then May turned into June and school was over. And it was like, wait, what? Like, wait.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, what do I do? And even now, like, preparing for next year as far as business, it's like, yo, all right, now what I got to do? So not, because this is not going to go away. This is now our new normal. You have to prepare.
Yeah.
And as entrepreneurs, we can't always prepare and be perfect. We got to have something.
We got to have something, right? And we got to put ourselves out there when we get something, right? We got to make that post and get out of our heads. We got to remind people who we are and what we do, right? Because if we didn't know that Carrie legit knew about drinks, and we just thought that she, could do these drinks at our wedding, we wouldn't be looking at her to make no syrup, because we wouldn't know that she could do that. Right. So she had to tell us that. So that, y'all, it's been so many nuggets in these 30 minutes, right? But we're gonna get up off of here soon, because me and Carrie have overbooked ourselves today. So we gotta get up off of here. So Carrie, let the people know, how can they get in touch with you? How can they learn about syrups, how to book you for virtual experiences, all the stuff? Let us know all the details.
All right. So first things first, please visit our website at www.wickedliquidllc.com. Please sign up for our mailing list too, because that's where I send out all the nuggets on how to do certain things. I may send out coupons on certain things. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day, what I send out. You can find us on social media. We have a Facebook page, which is Wicked Liquid Enterprise, LLC. All right, so let me explain that. When you look up Wicked Liquid Enterprise LLC, 2 pages are going to come up. They both mine. Facebook kicked me off my first one, but I guess I had too many people and it was hating. But they kicked me off my first one, and I couldn't get back on it. We tried for 6 months to get back on there, so I ended up having to create a new page. And the difference between the old page and the new page is this 1 comma. So the comma is the new page, and you can inbox me on that one. You can also see the old page without the comma. Just to see our track record. It literally happened in 2019. So from 2017 to 2018 is our page for Wicked Liquid, the first one without the comma. And then the second one started, and it showcases us up to date. So yeah. And then you can find us on Instagram at Wicked Liquid LLC. I haven't gotten into the Snapchat thing yet. We still working on that. Or the Twitter, or or the what is that? TikTok. I'm getting there, y'all. When I say I don't like being in front of the camera, that's not
it's a lot. It's a lot to manage, girl. Just yeah, that's one or two of them.
Right.
It's a lot. We do. I don't even have a TikTok, but we do want to see you on TikTok making drinks. That would be cool.
Right. People say that, but I'm getting there. The Lord has, opened that ministry for me, so I'm gonna get there. But yeah, that's my social media. You can book me on the website for events. You can also purchase those live experience kits on our webpage as well in the shops. You can see our services and packages for different events. You can order your elderberry syrup off there too. Yeah, got that. We have lots of kits out there. We are currently in construction for a subscription service where we have different drinks that will come to you each month. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for your support. I thank my family for always backing me 110% with that. Shout out to my grandma Suli and Dorothy, Suli McKelvey, Dorothy Prello, for everything you guys have instilled in me. Thanks for my mom, Darlene McKelvey, for always having my back. My sister Julissa, for always giving it 100. Shout out to her too. We're gonna plug her business in the Resilient Fitness for at-home workouts and live experiences. She create workout plans for you guys and does it along with you at home. So look up Resilient Fitness. Julissa McKelvey on Facebook. Hit her up.
Okay, come on, plugs.
Yeah, slow plugs.
Come on, plugs. Come on, plugs. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Carrie, for being on here, pulling yourself out of your comfort zone again and again and again and again and again and again. So you had an amazing day, y'all. I'm glad you had lunch with us. I know lunch went over a little bit, but now it's over. You continue to have an amazing day and stay cool, y'all. Who else is already on the Wicked Liquid site ordering their kits or their syrups? Please tell me it's not just me. But nonetheless, I know you all grabbed a gem or 2 or 3 or 4 during that interview. And I look forward to seeing you at the Unleash Next Level virtual experience. If you do not have your ticket, get it. These tickets are going like hotcakes. And I do not want you to miss out. All right? I don't want you to miss out, friend. So until next time, catch you later and be sure to get your ticket and tell a friend.